Welcome back to another Believe in Mavs. I'm Alexander Tassopoulos, joined alongside by Raymond Felton. It's been a minute. But you know what, Raymond? Honestly, I couldn't even bring myself to talk about the Mavs the last 2 weeks of the season. Man, I gotta be honest about it. What'd you think? Just quick thoughts on the very end of the season and the last kind of 2 weeks there, and what the Mavs put together.
I really just couldn't really understand, what was going on with them. They wasn't together on the court, and they dropped some games that they should have won, and kind of put them in a situation where they needed the last two games in order to have a chance to get to play for a play-in, and
Yeah.
then we both know what happened with that. I don't understand that situation. I can't speak on it because I wasn't in no meetings. I don't know why they did what they did, and yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I can really say on it.
No. Yeah. Knowing
I
the
don't
way
want to
that,
say anything
right.
that I don't know nothing about, but I kind of wish those guys would have played it out and try to see what they can do.
Sure.
But it didn't happen that way. So
I'll present a couple of facts here because I know the way that you look at the game, and we talked about it. I mean, the last time we were together, just talking about load management, and I have a couple of questions about the new CBA, some of the awards. You have to play 65 games in order to be considered for them going forward. And I think at least for the All NBA teams this year, that would take some of the guys that are going to get second team, third team out of that contention. But that's this year. Next year, when the CBA comes into play, it'll be a totally different story. But as of this morning, the NBA fined the Mavericks $750,000 for resting. I'll read some of the actual statement. The Dallas Mavericks' decision to restrict key players from fully participating in an elimination game last Friday against Chicago undermined the integrity of the sport, said Joe Dumars, NBA executive VP, head of basketball operations. Dallas Mavericks' actions failed our fans and our league. Now, I think it's important to note that J. Kidd came out and let everybody know that our guys were going to be arrested going into that game. I know Kai was, he had been dealing with a foot injury for some time, for previous 3 weeks. So that's what he was listed in the reasons why he was a DMP. Luka played the first quarter, a couple of seconds really in the second quarter, and then they yanked him. There were other guys who were missing. I think Reggie and Maxey were out of that game too.
And
Tim. Now, the reality of the situation was that even if they had beaten the Bulls, that the Thunder would then have had to lose against the Memphis Grizzlies, who were already locked in at the 2 seed 2 days later. And if you go and look at that game report, as people were predicting, as I'm sure internally the Mavericks knew, the best player on the court for the Grizzlies was Kenneth Lofton Jr. And he dropped 42. Awesome. He actually just got signed to a 4-year contract by the Grizz, which is amazing for him. He was I think a G League All NBA or All G League team.
I think he got MVP too.
Did he get MVP? Fantastic season.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Awesome. We got to watch play, honestly. But look, he's not gonna crack the rotation, or he'll play limited minutes when we get into the actual playoff series that the Memphis Grizzlies are going to play against the Lakers.
Right.
So I say all that to say, we knew where the Mavericks were going to be. I think most people knew that the Thunder were going to win that game, that the Grizzlies were going to sit their guys and not risk anything. So I guess like the NBA's big problem with it is that J. Kidd said something before the game, because the Portland Trailblazers shut down Damian Lillard 2.5 weeks ago. To me, I don't see why it's that different, but I would love to get your perspective, because I know how you feel about if you were one of those guys in the locker room and you had a chance, you had even a semblance of a chance, what you would be doing and what you would be telling the rest of the guys in that locker room. Hey guys, let's go do it.
No question. No, we're gonna go out and try to fight and get these 2 games and see what happens. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Those guys who don't get a chance to play can go out there and play one heck of a game, and they are pros too.
Yeah.
And beat the Thunder. That could have happened. So now we get a chance to get in the game, but now we tank and don't play. Well, I ain't gonna say tank.
Well, because the guys on the court are all playing to win. Yeah.
Right. And they play well.
They almost did win that game.
They almost won the game. So, on my boy Theo Pinson.
Triple-double.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's a slippery slope because the league has allowed it to happen for so long for guys to just sit out. For teams to just sit guys out because they're resting, sit guys out because it's load management, sit guys out because it's injury, whatever. Like, just coming off an injury, so we don't want to play them so many minutes and so many games right away. There's so many things they got now that they can do. Whereas when I first came in the league, man, everybody was playing at least 70 games.
Yeah.
Plus. Like, it was just unheard of for guys to sit out. Like, guys was playing. I'm talking about stars. I'm talking about guys like Tim Duncan. All these guys was playing big minutes and playing over 70-some games like throughout the season. Plus, back in the day, the Spurs was in the playoffs and was going to go deep in the playoffs. So these guys playing
every single year.
So they playing 90-plus games and not 100. So, like, I don't know. It's just different. So with the new CBA coming in saying that guys got to play at least, a certain amount of games, I'm glad they're putting that in because, that's making guys play basketball. That's taken away from the game when you got fans, you got certain people looking for these guys to play for a matchup. And it doesn't happen, So
the cutoff point is 65 for all NBA consideration and any of the major awards.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like that a lot. But I mean, I brought it up earlier. A guy like Steph Curry this season, a guy like LeBron James, both played under 65 games. I mean, even Luka, he only played 66. In two of those games, one of them was that Chicago Bulls game where he played a quarter in a minute, and then the other one was the one where he injured his ankle in the first half of the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, he actually only played 64 full games.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting. And then obviously there's the mid-season tournament, which won't be a break to then go to that tournament and play it, but it will be specific games throughout the regular season that will have financial implications for the guys that are playing in those games. I think that'll be really interesting. Mm-hmm. I actually think that could be a successful endeavor. And I love that they're just trying things because you kind of have to do that. But I mean, if you can make me care about a November game between the Rockets and I don't know, the Warriors, cool. That's cool. And then and Jalen Green gets to go out and he scores 45 points in a game that really, really means something. At least for all those young guys on that Rockets team, and the Warriors aren't sitting guys. Like, good, that's a success because that's what we want. At least that's what I want from a fan perspective. But amongst other things, so we have the $750,000 fine. Nico has come out and said, J-Kid's our guy, but we definitely need to make some roster moves. For you, who are the guys that must be on this roster next year?
I don't know.
It's a tough question. That's tough, right?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, because if you look at what happened at the end of the year, these guys really didn't gel with each other.
Yeah.
So when you lose Dorian Finney-Smith, a guy that's like your utility man, plays defense, plays hard, rebounds, make big shots, especially that corner three. You take away a guy like that, a guy like him, Jay Crowder and PJ Tucker means so much to teams that they don't realize it until it's gone.
Right.
Losing Jalen Brunson was a big hit. So now
vocal leader on the defensive side of the ball too. Mm-hmm. And JB, vocal leader in that second unit. Like,
right. Period. And just a vocal leader, period, because he was the only guy that really outside of Luka that can really do a lot of damage on the court from multiple positions. Not multiple positions, for multiple ways. Like he was a leader. He could pass the ball. He could shoot it. He just knew how to play the game. And that's why he can gel with Luka so well, because he knew how to play basketball, even with Luka being a high volume shooting guy. He holding the ball a lot. So he still was able to be effective. And that's something big. That's something that, I know they miss it. So that's why you're hearing a lot of noise talking about, his daddy was the part of this. And, you're hearing a lot of stuff being said dealing with Jalen Brunson because they miss him. Because, look at the Knicks. Look at what he's done with the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? With Julius Randle playing at a high level, then you bring in a point guard like that that's able to like run your team and control your team and be effective like he is. They number 5 in the East?
People don't show their 6 through 10 MVP votes, right? They show their top 5 guys, but he'd be in my top 10 just because of what that team did.
What he did, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to put him into consideration 100%. Like if you're just talking about what he's done for that team and the change that was made once he got there,
right?
Yeah, that to me that's what determines the most valuable player.
Completely agree. I think that's one thing that like people forget about, and they got so wrapped up in this Jokic and versus Embiid conversation. Like Embiid was the 4 seed last year. Mm-hmm. Jokic was the 6 seed. Both of those teams got into the playoffs. Neither were in the play-in. And once again, they're back at the same spot. And okay, Jokic is the Nuggets are the number 1 seed in the West. Mm-hmm. They both made meaningful jumps, in my opinion. But I was listening to Q Rich talk the other day, and he was talking with Ryan Russillo, another guy that knows ball really well. Mm-hmm. And they were just talking about the Suns. And when Q Rich was on the Suns with Nash, when he won his first MVP, and he was like, they forget that we were supposed to be the worst team in our division, and we won 60 plus games. Like that's the impact that Steve had. And he was the starting point for everything that we did. He was like, I'm gonna put a name out there to you. I don't mean to cut you off. No. A name out there to you, and I want you to tell me what you think and why he's not in the MVP talks. To me, he's top 2. I'll put him in front of Embiid. A lot of people may think I'm crazy. I don't care about the scoring. We know Embiid is the most dominant big man in the league. Who can stop him when he really goes to play? Can't nobody deal with him. So he should be the scoring leader. He should be averaging all those points. Back to back scoring leader.
Right. And don't get me wrong. I'm not taking nothing from him. Like he's a great player and he should be in the conversation. No question. But my man, Shea Alexander, my man SGA should be in there. I'm sorry. For a team that they said they had no chance, like 0.5, I think they said 1.5% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And for what he's done this year with that team, for that team, and don't get me wrong, they've got some other guys over there too that's play hard. They just play hard, but he's the heart and soul of that team. He's the leader. He's the guy when the game gets on the line, the ball is in his hand, he's going to get a bucket. This man is averaging over 30 points a game.
He's got to do it tonight. He's got to continue.
Exactly. Yeah. So why is this man not in the conversation? Like why he's not top 3? It's stupid to me.
I think he'll end up being when the votes come out, he'll be number 5 on the list.
You saying number 5? Like why he's not top? He should be up there. I don't get that because you're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, who nobody even looked at to even do anything this year. And they've gone in and beat people. They've gone in and done stuff. And he came out and he's killed. Like, I'm talking about from the start of the season all the way to the end. Like, started off the season getting 50, getting 30 something, and then kept it the whole year.
Well, I do hope that they beat the T-Wolves.
Me too.
Because I want more people.
All that mess that went on with Rudy and all that. I ain't like that.
Yeah. Stupid. I mean, you put that in combination with when he put his hands all over the mic when the COVID stuff, like,
yeah, like, come on, man.
He's just a French guy, dude. Like, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But I want people to watch the Thunder play in a full series because a lot of people that are NBA fans don't get a chance to watch the Oklahoma City Thunder night in, night out. And you're talking about this guy did it all season. And guess who also did it all season next year, I think is going to be very much vying for an all-star, Josh Giddey. That guy can play.
A hoop. I like Josh Giddey.
He almost had a 30-point triple-double in that game.
6'8", and can play the way he can play. Ooh.
But both of those guys,
they got a dangerous team, man.
Such a dangerous team. Chet, obviously their biggest issue this year was the rebounding. Giddey led the team in rebounding. He didn't even have 8 rebounds a game. Chet Holmgren, I hope that he's doing everything he can to be putting on the healthy amount of weight and muscle for him to get stronger so he can be that interior paint presence for them defensively next season. But the crazy thing about them, and I look at like they are a team with a bunch of young guys, which can be detrimental at some points because somebody has to step up as a leader. I mean, again, like I mentioned the Rockets, and obviously I'm a Dallas guy, so I love kind of poo-pooing the Rockets. That's one of the things that brings me joy. But they also have a very young core, but I don't feel like things have been identified as to who should be the leader on the offensive side, on the defensive side, who should be the voice that's connecting the players to the coach on that team yet. They have a lot to figure out. But the Thunder, you've got SGA, who is your guy. He will be your top 15 player in the NBA. He will be your number one on your finals contending team. They're not quite there yet to be a true contender, but they're on the path. And then you got Giddey, who can be your playmaker. Like, no one takes away from anybody. When they're out there together, they're all playing in cohesion.
You got Luke Dort, who plays extremely hard, gonna guard anybody, and just tough and can hit now, and he's worked on his jump shot, so now he can hit threes. So they got Wiggins, they got what's the other kid that can really shoot it? I can't think of his name right now.
Isaiah Joe, Mavs killer, yes. Isaiah Joe, yeah,
Isaiah Joe, like the Williams kid, a rookie that came out of nowhere, like the one that played at Santa Clara, I think, right?
Yep.
He's
J-Dub
really good.
J-Dub and J Will. Yep.
Yeah,
both those guys.
Really good. So, like they got something. Sam Press has always been good at getting talent and figuring it out. Like when you think that, the Thunder is gone, nah, they come back and he's proven that again.
And so, it only took like 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. So you get the right bigs in there with that team because they play hard. One thing I like about them, they look like a college team to me.
Yeah,
they play hard. I don't care who's on that court. I don't care what the advantage was. You would think with New Orleans, they got big old Valanciunas down there, and they did try to do that. They tried to throw the ball to him and do that, but shoot, man, they was trapping him, running out there, closing out. Man, listen, they was like a college team. Like, it's fun to watch. I can sit and watch OKC play before I can watch all these other whole high-profile teams. I can sit there and watch them play before any of those because they play the game so hard, and I feel like I'm watching a bunch of young kids, which I am. They are young for me.
Yeah.
But a bunch of young kids who care about the game and they playing hard and they care about each other and they just want to win. And they just give it everything they got. I'm serious. Like one thing about them, if I see them down by 15 at halftime, I know what they're going to do in that third quarter. And I can leave the game and come back to it. They might be up 2. They might be up 6. Like they're just the type of team that OKC is. You can never count them out. Never.
And it stems from Shea and the way that he plays. But even in that game against the Pelicans, I think he went out with like 2 minutes left in the third and they were down by 10. He comes back in the game at the beginning of the fourth or like a minute into the fourth, they're up by 2. So it's not just him. Like all these guys compete together and they're all young, like you're saying, but they're all playing like they've been in the league for 5 years. I mean, Jalen Williams, not the guy that's going to be second in Rookie of the Year votes, but the guy from Arkansas, the big, he didn't start a lot of games this season. He steps up, starts in a play-in game, hit a huge 3 with like 5 minutes left. He missed a lot of them, but I mean, he held his own in the paint against Valanciunas. Valanciunas had a good game, but he only shot 9 times. And if I'm Willie and I'm the Pels going into that game, I'm like, Jonas, you have to shoot 16 times. You have to get into the paint and bully these guys
every time.
But ultimately, okay, I want to move to the Pelicans because they have Valanciunas. He has a good game. They do not have Zion Williamson. He is a healthy scratch from this game. And, he comes out and he says, it's a mental thing, right? I can play 3-on-3. I'm just not there with my body, trusting it to go 5-on-5. I want to get your opinion because Rudy Gay has a show on the network and he basically made a call out to Zion and said, you have to do whatever it takes this offseason as a 22-year-old to get your body into the place where you can be playing 70 plus games. Heck, 40 plus games, right? How about more than half the season? Like, let's set the bar low. But for what he's getting paid,
they pay you $200 million. Okay,
you have to, right? So what are you agree with that, or you think there's even more behind it?
I agree with you. Have to. Now it's becoming mental because what I'm hearing for what he just said is, I can play, but mentally I'm not. I'm scared that I'm gonna get hurt again. That's what I hear when I hear him say that, what he said the other day. So my advice to him would be basically kind of what Rudy was saying. Go do what you need to go do, whether dieting, like just go kill yourself for the whole summer. Like, and I don't mean literally kill yourself, but put your body through so much stress to prepare yourself for the aches, the pains, the bumps, the bruises that you can withstand that throughout the year. Like, just take your body through it. Get yourself in shape. Get your body strong enough. Get your body, like, lean enough. All the things you got to do. And us South Carolina boys, for the most part, ain't built like Ja. Ja got the skinny, slim body. I didn't have that type of body. You know what I'm saying? It's been seasons where I had to come in and that they had to jump on me a diet plan right away to get my body fat to a certain point. It wasn't that I was fat. It was just that my body fat it's not like everybody else. I don't have a lean body.
Yeah.
So
what was it for you that like was most effective? Was it dieting, like a certain plan, like meal plan, not dieting, but a meal plan, or was it?
Yeah, it was a certain meal plan and just sticking to it. And sometimes you might eat the same thing like 3-4 times out of the week. So what? You just got to stick with it. And it's boring. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you got to stick with it because it's your job. You got to do something. You're doing something that you love to do. At a very high level, and you got people coming in every night trying to take your spot. Every night, every year. So you gotta do what you gotta do. If you want to stay. And I was blessed to be able to play, 14 years. So, I've had those conversations. I've had those, talks where people say on social media, like, oh, Raymond Felton he's a little overweight, he looks big. And it's like, nah, just my body type, bro. Like, I have a stocky body. Like, it was just one of those things where growing up as a kid, I had a lean body, but as I got older, you start to see who my daddy is.
Right. You fill out. Yeah. I mean, it's genetics.
You see my dad, you be like, oh, okay, I get it. Stocky, he's a stocky man. So, that started to become me as I got older in age. So it's like, no, I'm not in shape. So then when I go out there and I play, and I'm playing at such a level, they're like, well, dang, how he playing with his weight on him? This ain't weight, it's stockiness. If you look at my body fat, you feel my body, I'm hard as a rock.
Right.
It ain't flab, So it's like, so it's like a lot of people didn't understand that, because now it's about appearance. And I think mentally what he has to get in his head, stop worrying about appearance and what people think about you. Your body is your body. Zion Williams would never be a skinny, lean guy. So I would tell Rudy Gay that. I would tell anybody that's talking about him, he's never going to be skinny. Get that out your head. He's not going to be that person. And I feel like if he do, he's going to take away from who he is. He's going to take away from his game. And he can eventually probably really hurt himself. You know what I'm saying? So having a strong impact body for the way he plays is great. But what he needs to do is learn how to get his body fat count down. Stick with a diet throughout the whole year and just play. And I promise you it'll keep you healthy. Stay with those trainers. Stay on that training table. Stay with those trainers. They're gonna, make sure that your body's good. Get the cupping and the massaging, all that stuff helps with your muscles, your bones, all that stuff. Take your supplements that you have to take. All that stuff matters, man. I'm telling you, like, it takes a difference of you playing 50 games or playing 79. Like, if you look at the average games that I played at least, my average is 70 plus, hands down, my whole entire career. You know what I'm saying? And you can say, oh, he was overweight, whatever. I still played a lot of games.
Sure. I mean, if you're out on the court, I mean, that's the real complaint, right? Because when Zion is on the court, the guy is effective. He is probably a top 15 basketball player on the planet. When he is on the court, he has not been on the court. So that's what I was saying. I love that you say that about, like, forget the aesthetic appearance thing. Forget what everyone is saying about that. Drown that out. Because what's important is whatever gets your body to the place where you are playing 70 plus games a season. That's all that matters. And I would say the same thing for Luka too, right? Like,
yeah, and he needs to, like, change his body fat. Yeah. Don't change your body, because that's who you are.
Right.
You have a big body that people can't do nothing with you. So you keep using
part of what makes him so unique is when he gets to the paint and he plays with that change of pace and guys are bouncing off him because he's a unit, because he's huge. Like
exactly. So like don't change that about you. Don't change none of that. But just work on your body for your health and keep you away from injuries. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like just do that. But you know, that's just something now that everything is such appearance now.
Yeah.
It gets in these kids' head now, you know, and that's just critics.
Sure.
You know, people on social media talking about you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like he dealt with that. He dealt with that all year. Like people talking about him, people saying this about him. Like, and it's like, forget what they talking about, man.
He's dealt with it his whole career. Both of them.
You got $200 million. Forget them. What can they say? Go work on yourself.
The 200 million though, like, okay, do you think that in some way, because the mental aspect, I love that we're talking about this because I agree. I would imagine it's such a huge component of it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, because he can play in 3-on-3, like, is it about changing his motivations to get to a point where it's like, all right, these are the guys that I want to compete with and win a championship with? Because to me, that's where the disconnect is in the way that I approach the game. And obviously, I never had $200 million in my pocket. I never had any money in my pocket. I was just playing because I loved it. But I feel like that's gotten in the way a bit of what can, the competitive edge of being like, forget how much I'm making. What's most important to me is, and I don't know if then it becomes, let's change it from money to legacy, because if it's legacy that's on the line, then I better be out on the court competing in this playing game to get another round potentially of getting to the playoffs and competing to get to the Western Conference Finals. And then I can say as a 22-year-old, I got to the Western Conference Finals and shut people up for 2 years, whatever it is. Like, do you think he needs to reframe kind of like how he's approaching the game as well? And with this current team of the Pelicans?
I just think no, because what I see him do this year, like they was at the top of the West.
Right. Just get on the court. Just get on the court and the rest will take care of itself.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, you know, he's that good.
Yeah.
He's that good. He's that dominant that, you know, you had your team without Brandon Ingram, mind you.
Yeah.
You had your team number one in the West. At one point, they was number one without Brandon Ingram, and y'all was balling.
Right. And they played that playing game, obviously without him, but they played it without Alvarado, who's an important part of their team defensively. Exactly. They played it without Dyson Daniels, who he's a rookie, but he was good this year.
He was a big part of them during their success when they was playing well. So, you know, you still missing some key guys, but I feel like if you bring Zion back, if he comes back, they win that game tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying they win that game. There's no way OKC can. Well, not OKC. There's no way that. No,
they would.
No, they done.
They're done now, but they would have. But they would have beat OKC. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, they'd beat OKC. Yeah, because you have nobody to deal with him and Valanciunas
inside. You know no way.
So you got nobody to deal with both of them. So, yeah. So I just feel like he just got to find a way to just stay on the court, and if he finds that, they're gonna be one heck of a team.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotta stay healthy.
Okay, I want to ask you this real quick, and then I just want to get your NBA playoff picks, and then we'll wrap it up at that.
Okay.
But first, Caleb Love, UNC guard, transfers to Michigan. Michigan big man Hunter Dickinson potentially going to Maryland. He's visiting Kansas this week. There's guys all over the portal. The portal is becoming a massive, massive part of college basketball. I am in a bad place because the Texas Longhorns, Dylan Mitchell and Tyrese Hunter, our guards, have declared for the draft. And we just lost a 5-star prospect who's now going to Australia to play professional ball, the Illawarra Hawks. Good luck. I mean that. I do, but I wish you were playing with the Texas Longhorns. Guys are transferring, like Arterio Morris, our 5-star guard, who's from Dallas area. He's transferring. Who knows where he's going to go? Why do you think this is happening? Especially, I look at the Texas case. I look at Caleb Love's case. It's obviously a little different for Love. He's been there for a minute now. I have to imagine that his biggest factor is implications of where he will be drafted in the NBA draft next season. Going to play for Jawan. There's not many guys that are like him that are coaching college basketball right now that had that level of NBA pedigree. Obviously, Hube is awesome. He's an awesome coach. He's doing a great job, but it is different, right? But you're leaving a blue blood like UNC. Well, like talk to me. I mean, Michigan's a blue blood too. I mean, you have the Fab Five there. Like, what's the idea behind that? And why would you do that? Like, I'm scratching my head for some of these guys on why they're picking up and leaving a program that has so much history and is competing.
Spoiled. You deal with a bunch of young, spoiled kids now who social media drives their life, their careers, and they got 150k followers, and they give them a blue check, and they feel like they're somebody. And a lot of kids forget the art of hard work. Just because you go in the gym and shoot shots doesn't mean that it's effective. Like, you have to go in and really work. Like, it has to hurt. If it don't hurt, then you ain't doing nothing. And I think a lot of them think they can just go through the motion in the gyms and, oh yeah, I got some work in today, and that's good.
Yeah.
Nah. To play at a high level and to play on these high level college teams, that's how you have to train yourself. That's how you train your body. Mentally you have to prepare yourself, because you're gonna be on all the highlights. You're gonna be on all the major TV. You're gonna have the major TV games. You're gonna be seen a lot. So
right.
With that being said, it's a target on your back. So you got to be ready to go. So if you don't work on your game properly, it's going to show. You're going to see the slippage. And I just think that, some of those guys didn't really get in the gym the way they should have. And I could be wrong.
Sure.
This is my opinion. I could be wrong. They could have worked their butt off the whole summer. But I think that when you come out, you don't have the season that you wanted. And it's like, okay, maybe this ain't the right place. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Tar Heel, but what other place in the world is better than playing for University of North Carolina?
And you had the opportunity.
I'm just saying more scouts in the world come to watch Carolina than any other school in the country. So that move I don't get. Now, going to play for Jawan, who is my big bro, it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. Great thing. He's a great coach. Yes, he has a lot of NBA connections. He's played in the league for so many years, and he's coached so many more, before he went to Michigan, but at the same time, you still at Carolina, and then you still being coached by somebody who also played in the NBA, Hubert Davis.
Right.
He played in the league too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just one of those things where I just feel like that transfer portal makes it easy for these kids. Oh, this coach ain't treating me good. This coach ain't playing right. This coach ain't do this, so I'm gonna go transfer. And it's like there's no penalty because now they can transfer and play right away.
Yeah.
Before, when you transfer, you had to sit out
a year. You're right. Right. Well, and I think like not like there are times and examples already where it has been beneficial to guys in giving them more national spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
They're going from a mid-major to a bigger school, and they got to put on, and then they ended up, in the NBA. And to me, every situation is different, but Caleb had an opportunity amongst other guys on that team this year to do something really special, coming off of a year where they had a ton of momentum and where he could have been a leader and they could have put up 23 plus wins, gone to the tournament, made another run and made some serious noise. And then he might not even still be in college right now. But so I'm interested to see what happens with this Michigan team for sure. But okay, before you got to go, I want to get your picks here in the NBA playoffs. Just gut check. We'll say that I don't think you think that either of the 8 seeds are going to get to the Western or Eastern Conference Finals. Is that fair to say, whether it's the Bulls or the Thunder?
Nah, I don't see that.
Okay. Who do you think's going to be playing each other in the Western Conference Finals?
Western Conference.
Yeah. And who will win that series?
If I had to pick, I like.
I'm making you pick.
I like Denver.
Okay.
And if Paul George come back, I like the Clippers. If he comes back. Now, if he comes back, they would play each other in the second round. Oh, they would.
Because Denver's at the 1, so the Clips would.
No, that wouldn't work.
So it'd have to be between the Grizz and the Lakers or the Kings and the Warriors. Then those teams would play each other in the second round, and then one of them would advance.
I mean, I guess I got to go and Golden State.
Yeah.
The Kings are going to be a bad matchup for them, though.
You think the Nuggets can knock off Chris, Kevin, and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think they got a better bench.
Yeah.
They got a better bench. I think that's going to come into effect. And I also think that they match up. They match up honestly, because I mean, who can stop KD? Nobody.
No.
But you still can put what's his name on it? Played at Arizona.
Gordon. Yeah.
You could put Aaron Gordon on him, right?
Yeah.
You know, big, strong, athletic. You know, can't stop him. Who can stop KD? But can basically do some damage.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton to me can't do nothing with Jokic, but still, athletic, strong. Still.
That would be a huge series for Ayton.
Yeah,
huge
really
series.
But still could be an effective situation, right?
Yeah,
CP
if he gets cooked in that
Jamal
series,
Murray.
though.
CP and Jamal Murray. If the old Jamal Murray comes to play, CP gonna have problems. Now
Big
CP
time.
is so smart, crafty, but he can't do nothing with him.
Yeah,
6'4", 6'5", and CP can't really do nothing with that. Then you got Caldwell Pope, who's gonna play hard. He's gonna be a defender,
champ,
shots.
Got a ring, knows how to do it.
Exactly. So he's gonna him and Devin Booker.
Yeah.
So then you got then you got Michael Porter Jr. and who else they start? I don't know who else they start. Okogie, yeah. Okogie. So
I like him.
Yeah, I like Okogie too. He plays hard, plays defense.
Competes.
So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that matchup is somewhat even.
Yeah.
But for me right now, I still give Denver the edge. I do. You know what I'm saying? So I have to go with Denver and Golden State.
In the East, go quick.
Milwaukee.
Yep.
Will Milwaukee and Boston have to play each other?
No, Milwaukee would play the winner of they're going to play the Cavs.
Okay. So they'll play the Cavs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Milwaukee and Boston. I see that matchup back again.
And then repeat of the finals, or is Milwaukee getting the better of the Boston?
Milwaukee gonna get them this year. I like the way their team is built this year, and Drew Holiday is playing at a high level.
High level, yeah,
very high level.
The highest level he's played.
Right. So you add guys like Jay Crowder, you add guys like Joe Ingles that nobody talks about. Guys like that. With
he's one of my favorite players, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like you got guys like that know how to play, knows how to win. So to me they got better. To me they are better. So with them being better, and they was already there for the last 2-3 years, and contenders in the East, like they're going to be there because they know how to win.
Yep,
they know how to win, so they're going to be there. So I see those two being there, and then I see them getting the better of Boston this year.
Love it. All right, Raymond's got the Bucks winning. I think I'm joining him. On that one. That's been another episode of Believe in Mavs. Raymond, always appreciate you hopping on, man. We'll catch you guys next time.
All right.